Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to react to something that happened to a famous interviewer, Chris Williamson. And if you take a look here, there's a video that says, "It's time to talk about my health," since seems like he went to the hospital. Now, I did watch this. The cause, he says, is because of mold issues in a rental home, right? And then there's another video here about a reaction to Chris Williamson's health. And this is very interesting. So this guy owns a website called adspend.com. I've never heard of him until I watched this reaction, but I think there's a lot of insight we can learn from this. So let's go ahead and play it.
Chris Williamson just posted a video called "It's Time to Talk About My Health." And I need to talk about this because last year I went through the exact same thing he's
Oh, yeah, that seems pretty wow. I don't even have any words, but it seems like you see this and then you feel like super stressed out, right? There must be a lot of stress going on.
going through right now, except it happened to me at age 30 while I was scaling my business to multiple seven figures a year. And what I'm about to share with you could save your life, or at least save you from making the same mistakes I did. Because the real problem wasn't what I thought it was. And if you're a young man watching this, grinding 24/7, chasing more money, more success, more everything, you need to hear this the most. For context, if you don't know who I am, my name is Brian Moncada. I'm the founder of adspend.com. Over the last 5 years, I've made over $7 million online, scaled my business to $350,000 months, worked with a team of 16 people, and had some of the biggest industry names work with me, partner with me, and interview me. And on paper, I was winning. But behind the scenes, I was falling apart. You see, what ended up happening was last year, I was dealing with severe skin and gut issues. My skin looked like this. Okay, this
Yikes. Yikes. Take a look at that. That's wow. If I had skin like that, I'd be freaking out.
is a real picture. It's gross. I know it still gives me cringe to just looking at it. It's red and inflamed and peeling, and I thought I was dying. I didn't know what was happening to me. I was convinced it was mold toxicity from our apartment in Miami because
You know, it's funny because looking from the outside in, Hollywood is a place of dreams, right? But what most people don't see is that it's a paradise of debt. Just about everyone here is
I knew there was mold in there when we were living there, and our air condition was spewing it to us. And so obviously we left that apartment as quickly as we found out.
I think when you're in a humid environment like in Florida, I think that's just kind of a fact of life, from what I understand.
Too late, too little, obviously. But I didn't know how to deal with it because what started as a little spot on my skin, on my left arm right here, quickly grew into what you saw just there. So I did what any entrepreneur would do. I hired mold experts throughout half my stuff. When moving from Miami back to Arizona to be closer to family, I tried every protocol, supplement, and treatment you can imagine. I was actually so against taking pills and prescription drugs, but I was so desperate to figure out what the heck was wrong with me that I was willing to sacrifice those principles and values to just give me anything you can. I need to fix this immediately because I got a business to run. I got people that count on me. I need this to go away as quickly as humanly possible. As you can see, I threw out basically all of my stuff. I tried everything I could do to fix me. But here's what I learned, okay? The mold wasn't the real problem. So let me show you this post from Carnivore Aurelius where he describes what's happening to Chris Williams right now perfectly. Chris Williams and Jordan Peterson's main issue isn't mold.
Yeah, I heard that Jordan Peterson is having health problems too, and I think I saw his daughter making videos about like, "Where's Jordan?" And then it seems like both of them are real hustlers and they work a lot, right? Like having a media empire and a YouTube channel is really not easy. Like I put a lot of low effort into my YouTube channel. It still kind of takes a lot out of me, to be honest. So I can't imagine doing this for doing this like full time.
Toxicity or Lyme, it's something much deeper, something most modern men are facing. A burnt out nervous system, overstimulation, repressed emotions. Running 10 businesses, shouting at strangers online, living on your phone, constantly trying to be more, do more, have more. It's the worst thing you can do to your nervous system. A chronically activated system destroys your adrenals, thyroid, gut, and energy. And you can't heal with in fight or flight, either because all your energy is going toward fighting invisible enemies and chasing validation, then throw mold and other toxins on top of that, and you've got a recipe for disaster. But it didn't start with the toxins or the lime. It starts with your mind, your emotions, your pace of life. What's sad and frustrating about Chris's video is how obvious this was and how everyone was blind to it. He was flying to 3 cities a week, glued to his phone in every shot, pushing himself to failure in the gym and wondering why replacing his blood with some high-tech machine wasn't working. And I get it. I've been there too. That's why it's so frustrating. And most people today are doing the same thing. The real toxicity isn't just the environment. It's the culture. It's the Western obsession for more.
So you know what's funny is that there's a book called The Burnout Culture, right? That kind of describes this, and it's written by a Korean dude who lives in Germany. Um, Hold on, where is that book? The Burnout Culture book, right? Or Burnout Society by my fellow Korean in Germany, Byung-Chul Han. That's how you say it in Korean. Or if I how do I say it in English, Byung-Chul Han. But yeah, culture of or the Burnout Society. That's essentially what we live in. And I was taking a look at this, his YouTube channel. You know, he 2 weeks ago he posted like, it's time to talk about my health. 1.3 million views. And then more videos. It's like I don't know when he made these videos, or maybe it was before he made that video, because I know like interviews have to go into the editing room. But still seems like he's hustling. He's not like he's not stopping, you know what I mean? So the other thing too I thought was interesting, right? Let me just go back here. Is there's I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a comment that says, funnily enough, this is from Instagram. I pointed out that Chris Williamson's nootropic drink contains artificial sweeteners like sucralose, GMO derived citric acid, and synthetic flavorings. The comment got hundreds of likes, and he just deleted and blocked me instantly. Says a lot how much health optimization actually matters when profits online, right? So uh yeah, I thought this was an interesting comment. I mean, sometimes when you're selling stuff, you want to be as ethical as possible, right? Like, but then sometimes, when people sell quote health drinks and health stuff, you look at the ingredients, it's like, oh my goodness.
Some high-tech machine wasn't working. And I get it. I've been there too. That's why it's so frustrating. And most people today are doing the same thing. The real toxicity isn't just the environment. It's the culture. It's the Western obsession for more. The way out isn't more supplements or biohacks. Those are just bandages helping you survive a toxic lifestyle. We need an entirely new way of living that teaches us to be content with what we have and do what we love for the sake of the game, not because we're all caught up in the trance of unworthiness. The way out is subtraction, doing way less, removing, not adding, and doing the real hard work of getting honest about what emotional wounds keep your system so anxious, fearful, and busy. And you see, this speaks to me very deeply because that was me. I threw out basically everything I could to try to get rid of the mold, toxicity, but yet I was still suffering very greatly. And it wasn't the supplements that were helping me. Those definitely didn't help me. It actually made everything worse.
I wonder if these are AI generated like images or videos. Like I can't even tell these days anymore. That's how good the AI is. So
But one of my trainers told me one thing that now I realize in the moment I didn't want to hear, but looking back was actually something that I needed to hear. I was doing everything I could to heal myself. I was doing sauna every single day for 20 minutes. I was doing the cold plunge every morning for at least a minimum of 5 minutes, pushing my body to do at least 10,000 steps a day on top of running and scaling my businesses. I was doing everything I knew and trying to add more on top of more. And he was like, dude, you probably actually need to do less. You probably actually need to chill. And just like Carnivore Aurelius's post said to Chris, this was exactly what I needed to hear, but I
you know who else said that? Bruce Lee. I remember a quote from Bruce Lee. It's like, what you got to do is you kind of take away stuff and focus on the stuff that you're good at. I don't remember the exact quote, but I know he said something along the lines of that.
Didn't know it at the time because it didn't matter what you told me. I thought I had to add things to remove things. And the main issue, again, wasn't the mold toxicity or my environment. It was what was happening to me internally. You see, I was focused on all the external things, the mold, the supplements, the protocols, that I completely missed what was actually destroying my health, the stress. You see, I was running a business that was out of alignment with what I actually wanted at that time. I had a team of 16 people, $100,000 plus in monthly payroll, and I was managing everything except my health. I wasn't even working with clients anymore, the thing I actually loved and started my business in the first place to do. But I kept pushing because that's what we're told to do, right? Grind harder, do more, be more, make more money, and it'll all work itself out. And
You want to know what's crazy? I know somebody who sold a tech company for a ton of money to one of the biggest private equity firms, right? Owner of a tech company, software, died after 3 years later. And I was like, dang, man, that's pretty serious, right? And I heard that after retirement, your chances of dying are so sky high. I don't know how to explain it, but like I heard that too. So I think you need a little bit of balance. You need to work a little bit, but you can't get to a point where you work nothing, right? I think both extremes are bad, but it seems like for people in their 20s and 30s, they're just going, 100-hour weeks and nonstop, and you got to post 2,000 YouTube videos in I don't know, a year or something like that.
this is the trap that most young men, including myself, fall into. Here's the truth that nobody wants to talk about. A lot of young men, including me, are using their business as an escape from childhood trauma. We're chasing money, status, and success because we think it'll finally make us feel like we're enough. We think if we just hit that next milestone, whether it's $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, $1 million a month, then we'll finally have the peace we've always dreamed of. We'll finally be able to take it easy and actually achieve what we so desperately want to achieve.
And it's true. No amount of money will give you peace and satisfaction because money is just a tool, right? And there's like a certain amount where if you make over a certain amount, it's never going to give you any sort of happiness or satisfaction. It's just like a cherry on top.
Which is maybe to just be happy, to be at peace. But it doesn't work that way, okay? Because when more is all you're chasing every single day, you're creating a vicious cycle. You're never satisfied. You're never at peace. And eventually, your body forces you to stop, whether you want to or not. That's at least what happened to me. And that's what I believe is also happening to Chris Williamson right now, just like Carnivore.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but Mint's premium wireless is $15 a month.
Aurelius believes because he's trying all these external things, protocols, treatments, supplements, all the things that people are telling him he should do to get rid of the issue, but he's not addressing the real root issue. His nervous system is fried from years of overstimulation and stress. He's doing more and more and more, and he won't take a break and actually just chill out and relax. And like Carnivore Aurelius said, sometimes the answer isn't more. Sometimes the answer is to chill the F out. So here's what actually healed me. I stopped doing things, okay? I actually realized one day when I was at my computer, just really stressed out, my skin looked nuts, it looked like I was dying, I had all these supplements, and I looked at all these supplements on my countertop. It was like 20 plus supplements I was taking every single day just to try to heal myself, by the way. And I realized I look like I'm an old man dying right now with all these supplements that I'm taking. And it didn't make sense to me because, again, I'm someone who naturally takes health very seriously. I'm one of the most healthy people that I know. And that's just me being honest. And so I would typically avoid any sort of supplements or prescription drugs because that's just not really aligned with my values. But I was desperate, so desperate to heal myself that I was just taking anything and everything to try to heal me. And it was at that moment that I actually heard a voice speak to me. And it said, go back to nature. And thankfully, and I think it was, an angel at this point that spoke to me through a Facebook DM. They messaged me after I posted the pictures I showed you at the beginning of this video to a Facebook forum designed specifically and made for eczema because I was so desperate. I was willing to just share my skin photos online with random strangers just because I was so against what I knew. I didn't know how to heal myself. I didn't know what was right, what was wrong, that I posted those skin photos on an eczema forum on Facebook. And thankfully, this lady DM'd me and said, hey, has anyone ever told you that you might have staph infection as well? Your skin's definitely inflamed, obviously, but you also might have a skin infection on top of it. Nothing I did helped me until I actually took some time to go to the beach, swim in the ocean, and relax for about 2 weeks. And it was so funny because, again, remember, I heard the voice saying, go back to nature. So immediately after I heard that voice and she DM'd me, I flew back to Miami to stay with my parents who lived on the beach. And I basically disconnected for 2 weeks. I took the entire, basically, as much time as I could off without working. Every day I did something very simple. I woke up, I read, okay, Soul Bro, shout out to Soul Bro's book. I got sun, I swam in the ocean, and I just chilled. And guess what? My skin started healing.
His skin actually looks really nice compared to the photos. Now, it's funny because, he thought Miami was the problem, and then his parents live in Miami. He's now doing okay.
Because I found some magic supplement or protocol, but because I finally let my nervous system rest. I just chilled for a little bit and enjoyed myself in the present moment. I stopped worrying about my business. I stopped worrying about what other people thought. I stopped chasing more for the moment, and I just focused on me and healing myself and going back to nature. I stopped taking all the supplements. I ate whatever I wanted or what my mom was cooking for me, thankfully, and I just enjoyed myself. I enjoyed my life. And that's when I realized health is the true wealth. Health is wealth. Not money, not status, not success, but your health. And health isn't just physical, okay? It's not about how big of muscles you have or how jacked you look or what six-pack you have with your, shirt off. It's mental, it's emotional, and it's spiritual. And I'm thankful God showed me this lesson while I still have my marriage, while I have my newborn daughter and my start of my new family, and my sanity. Because I could have kept pushing. I could have kept chasing. And I would have lost everything that actually matters in the long run and in the grand scheme of things. So look, if you're a young man watching this and you're grinding 24/7, chasing money, listening to people on Instagram telling you need to work your ass off, make as much money as possible, and then you'll be happy, chasing success, chasing more, I need you to ask yourself a very simple question. Why? What are you running from? Because here's the truth. Money does solve problems, okay? It does. It got me out of scarcity. It gave me options. All I wanted for my entire life when I was growing up was to have money. Why? Because I never grew up with money. I wasn't poor. My parents did their best for me. I grew up sort of lower middle class. I had everything I needed. I wasn't out of anything that I didn't, that caused me to be stressed or worried, like to not eat every single day. I had what I needed. I had just enough. But I didn't have what my friends did. I didn't have what their parents had. I didn't have the house they did. I didn't have the games they did. I didn't have the cars they drove. I didn't have the status they did. I didn't have whatever it was that I thought money would solve for me. Again, money does solve problems. It got me out of scarcity. And it gave me options. That's why I desperately wanted to have and make more money.
I'll tell you one thing. He certainly has a lot more books than I do.
And it made me a better person in a lot of ways. Because in order to make money, you have to become more valuable. So it did help me.
Cyber attacks are relentless. Do you know how to truly protect your network? Red Education presents.
But if you're always chasing more in anything, especially with money, you'll never have peace. And eventually, your body will force you to slow down, just like mine did. And just like what I guess Chris Williams is doing to him right now. So don't wait until your body breaks down. Don't wait until you're covered in rashes like I was, basically looking like Job in the Bible who has all this skin disease and God's testing him tremendously, seeing if he's going to keep his faith, which I thought I was. I literally was like, dude, this is like Job in real life. Don't wait until you can't sleep. Don't wait until you can't think. Don't wait until you can't function. Don't wait until you have to wear long sleeve shirts in the middle of Arizona just to hide your skin when it's 120 degrees outside because you don't want people to look at you weird because you know they're going to judge you. They're not going to want to be around you. They're going to feel like, holy crap, what's this guy doing outside? It looks like he has a really, really, really bad disease. And deep down, you don't know how to heal it internally because you're trying to figure out what the heck's happening to you. That's what I suffered through. Take care of yourself now, okay? Disconnect. for a couple seconds, for a couple weeks, for a month. Get back to nature. Go back to your roots and find your peace. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of building $1 million business if you're too sick to enjoy it? You know, I don't think many people will talk about this topic because a lot of them don't want to admit this sort of thing. It's taken me over a year to make this video, but I woke up this morning and I saw that post on Instagram and I saw Chris's video and it made me want to make this video because that was exactly me. No, I don't have as much success as Chris does. No, I don't have as many followers and subscribers as Chris does. And no, I am not judging Chris by any means. Don't get it twisted. I am not judging him. I am simply sharing my story with you to show you that this is true because it's exactly what happened to me. I tried everything I could think of, just like Chris is trying to do. Nothing helped me. More wasn't the answer. In fact, reducing, and getting rid of everything was the actual solution. No more supplements, no more prescriptions, no more worrying, no more trying to chase more for the sake of more. My entire philosophy has changed, and you've probably seen it in my content recently. That's why I'm talking a lot more about peace, profit, and purpose. I'll put the image on the screen right here. This is exactly what I wrote down on my whiteboard at the end of last year. 3 things I wanted: peace, profit, and purpose. And what I didn't share with you is while I was going through all of that, the skin, all of that, trying to heal myself, my wife and I ended up having our first miscarriage. She was pregnant. We were so excited to have our first baby. Everything was going according to plan, besides my health, obviously. And she ended up having a miscarriage during that entire thing that was happening to me. And that's what changed everything. Because I realized money can't solve everything. Thankfully, I believe God taught me this lesson early in my life, maybe earlier than Chris for a reason, maybe to make this video right here, to share this with you, to share this perspective with you so you can learn it earlier than maybe you have to. I actually hired a business coach recently, someone that was one of my first business coaches, and he told me something very similar. He said, you want to thank God that you're going through this right now, everything you're going through with your business, how you've changed your perspective, because it's all according to his plan. And be thankful you learn this lesson now while you still have a wife who loves you, while you still have a daughter who's growing up and she's getting to love you, right? Because he, for example, had to go through a divorce just to realize that he sacrificed his family and his wife and what actually mattered for trying to chase those oh so desired $1 million months, which again, money isn't the issue unless it's the only thing that satisfies you. I hope this video helped you. And if it did, drop me a comment down below and let me know if you have a similar story. And if you're a new subscriber or someone who would like to subscribe, I would encourage you to do so. And I hope this helped you.
All right, that was pretty good. So right here we have, I tell patients all the time. They refuse to slow down and allow the body do what it needs. One unfortunate case I had this week was a dentist with multiple practices. Despite her health, her only concern is still doing what is necessary to get back to running her practices. Some people have to learn the hard way. Oh my goodness. All right, well, learned a lot from there. Slow down. You know, this is why I don't post too much on YouTube. I post low effort videos, even though it seems like I'm working hard, but people complain, you make the same video over and over again. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Okay. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you on the next video.